One. Hello, people of the internet. We're back. This is the main event, Chicago, being broadcasted to you live from my bedroom in my parents' house and Shaq's apartment, respectively. This is the main event, Chicago. This is your main man, Kevin Berger, coming to you, as I said, from a room in my parents' house. Joining me is my great friend, the incomparable, indisputable, inconsequential, infamous Shaquille Barnes. Shaq, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I love the introduction, man. You guys give me good introductions. I appreciate it. But everything's good. A lot of things been going on with sports. Good talking to you. How you been, Kevin? What's going on, man? What's going on in Kevin's world?
You know what? It a lot has been happening. Obviously sports have been happening. I'm actually starting to get settled in at my new job. I just wrote up last week the first two contracts for bringing potential affiliates on, one of which was actually just signed today, bringing five radio stations under the fold, pushing our total from 70 to 75. So pretty pleased about that. Taking a look outside the window, the snow has definitely started out here in the western suburbs. So everybody, with the next couple of hours on this cold, snowy January evening, Shaq and I are going to be here to entertain you all because, to be honest, other than I think the Bulls playing tonight, there really isn't a whole lot of Chicagoland sports going on, to be brutally honest.
Nothing.
So that's where we come in. So guys, we got a lot to talk about. Shaq and I, we are going to be going over the national championship a little bit. I realized that was almost 3 weeks ago now, which shows how long it's been since Shaq and I have been on. But we are going to be going over that. Obviously, we got to break down the football action from this weekend with the results of the NFC and AFC championship games. And then we got a lot of NBA to talk about, guys. We got a lot of NBA to talk about. We have
what are you doing?
We have the blockbuster trade that happened with James Harden getting shipped out to Brooklyn. We have the rumors surrounding Victor Oladipo. We have latest comments out of a player in Charlotte has been taken out of the starting lineup. And the Bulls have not been playing too bad, actually, as of late. And we got to plug Shaq a little bit for the SB Talk Sports. One of his latest videos, my man's caught a little bit of flack for voicing his opinion, which, because, of course, no one's ever allowed to express their opinion on the internet.
And the crazy part about it wasn't if they actually watched the video and understand where I came from, why I asked the question, because I feel like the Bulls are not a championship team, so nobody's untouchable. So it's like you always can ask the question of if this person is available or should we make this move.
Yeah. So guys, we got all that and more coming up on the main event Chicago this evening. So Shaq, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's make it happen.
All right. Alrighty, guys. So with that being said, we are going to be starting out again briefly with the national championship game. Obviously, it saw Alabama taking on Ohio State after they beat both Notre Dame and Clemson, respectively, in the college football semifinals. And Shaq, I'll just get right to the point. Alabama came, they saw, and opened up a couple cans of whoop ass on Ohio State, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and I told you that was going to happen because when it's Alabama coming through, shutting things down, it was going to happen. It's Alabama, man. Why are you surprised? You should already know how what was going to happen. So what's the problem? I'm not shocked. I knew it. I was just I think I stopped watching that game because they was beating them that bad. I was just it's over with. Let me just go ahead.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Shecht, is I wasn't surprised by the outcome at all. To be honest, I was more shocked at the people that thought that Ohio State was going to give Alabama a game. Because, I mean, Shaq, we'll just take a look at the numbers. I mean, Justin Fields, for as great of a season as he had, 17 of 33, only 194 yards, 1 touchdown. He was actually leading Ohio State in rushing that game on 6 attempts for 67 yards. And Master Teague did get a couple touchdowns, 2 touchdowns on 15 carries, but he only got a meager 65 yards. Chris Olave was their leading receiver, and on 8 catches, he only had 69 total yards. So not all that impressive on Ohio State's part for the offense, which is not exactly surprising given how great Alabama's defense is year in and year out. But Shaq, you know who did surprise me was Mac Jones showed up and had a day. 336 of 45, 464 yards, 5 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, I don't think was really much of a surprise.
No.
12 targets, 215, 3 touchdowns. And Shaq, I mean, Ohio State had no answer for Devontae Smith. They didn't have an answer for Najee Harris. They didn't really have an answer for anything that Alabama wanted to do.
Yeah, and the other way, I got a comment from my homie Vince because I yelled at him yesterday because I said I wasn't getting support from him. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, support me or you will get yelled at again. But, yeah, though, it's like I'm not surprised. It's Alabama, one of the top schools, probably, in my opinion, the best college franchise out and been for a while.
You mean
it is?
Well, okay, it's not a franchise, Shaq. It's a university.
It's a university, but they run it like a franchise. I'm sorry. I wasn't shocked about the outcome at all. I expected that. I was kind of like, I was just hoping like Ohio State, if you make the dance, you know, make it a fight worth the see, you know. So that's all I really wanted, but they didn't show up. So it ended up being what we expected to be an Alabama beatdown. I don't care much on that one.
Well, Shaq, and I mean that's the thing is that this isn't this isn't a rare occurrence in the college football. Since we've had the college football playoff, honestly, it really hasn't mattered who has been in the playoff. Basically, every single game, whether it's been the national championship or the semis, every one of them has pretty much been a blowout.
Yeah.
Even the whole Alabama versus Clemson. Those games are still and usually end up being at least decided by 2 or 3 scores. So I'm not entirely sure as to what college football can try to do to try to alleviate some of this because, you know, everybody jumps the gun and says, oh, we'll have more teams. But if we take a look at the final college football rankings for 2020, 2021, that starts out as we'll just go the top. Let's just go top 10. I'll just read the top 10. Top 10 is Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Georgia, Cincinnati, Iowa State, and actually Northwestern, which is
Nebraska played good.
Surprise.
Nebraska played good last year. Actually, they played good.
They did. No, they did.
Shout out to Jack.
But
that's his team.
I mean,
they did good.
Well, I mean, let's take a look. I mean, obviously Alabama number 1. Yeah, the top 5. That's pretty much not
debatable,
not that big of a deal. But let's just say that we took the top 8 teams because I've heard Shaq. That's as much as I would go is the top 8,
right?
Because I mean, then you have Iowa State and Northwestern, which again, don't get me wrong. I love Pat Fitzgerald. I love Northwestern. But you're telling me that you're going to take number 10 Northwestern, you're going to put them up against Alabama?
No. That's going to be
You're going to tell me that
that's going to be like a 60-point blowout. Oh my God.
I mean, Iowa State against Ohio State? No.
It'll be crazy.
And not only that, Shaq, but if we took the top 8 teams, there's 3 SEC schools in there.
I mean, but the SEC has been SEC, man. Last time was cool. That wasn't the SEC won the national title. When was the last time that happened? Off top of the head,
the last time Clemson won.
That's it. Yeah. So, but usually, but like this is, they usually dominated.
But I mean, that's the thing, though, is that if that happens, and okay, then we have 3 or 4 SEC teams in there, then what the hell is the point in any other team, even in any other conference, even being in there? Then, if that's going to end up being the case,
I mean,
so I'm not entirely.
I mean, you can't be like, well, just don't put no other conference in there just to be. It's not their fault that they get the top recruits all the time, and then that's the best schools. You can't. This is how the college. This is how the college football game is played. If you get the best players, you're gonna win. The answer's out of 10.
And I understand that, Shaq. You know that I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just talking about the layman person who doesn't understand that. They're like, oh, why don't you just have the SEC? Because why don't you just have more teams instead of having 4, have 6, 8, 10, 12? Well, guess what? Then it's just going to be muddled up, and it's not like it matters which SEC team is going to be in there because we all know how the story ends. It's going to be Alabama.
Yep, Alabama all the time.
At the end of the day, because you can't count on Georgia. I don't care how great Kirby Smart is at recruiting. For whatever reason, his teams can never beat Alabama. Florida, I think, is on their way back, Shaq, but they're still at least a couple years out. If I'm being honest, Auburn is a non-factor right now. A&M with Jimbo Fisher is good, but I don't think they can match the physicality of an Alabama team.
Yeah.
Now for 4 quarters, they can't. And then everybody else in the SEC is more or less irrelevant because we all saw how terrible LSU was this year. And Ed Orgeron has a lot of work to do with recruiting because we all saw how they got steamrolled in the SEC this year. I mean, normally the LSU.
Hold on, we got comments from Zane Latte. He said you got to mix it up a little. I'm an SEC fan. There's teams around the league that can hang with the SEC and chill out my dogs. But the problem is it's hard to mix it up though because football is a high risk injury sport. So if we add 6 or 8 more teams to a tournament bracket, like let's see if they can actually like make it all the way through there. So like, come on, like if you got to play like 5 games, like even the most games you play in with the NFL is like 4 or 5. That's it.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Because there's 16 games in an NFL season, and then assuming that you played in the wild card, that's 1. Then there's the round after that, which is 2. Then there's the conference championship, and then the Super Bowl. So if you're gonna have, let's just say you're gonna have. Let's say 12 teams, because then that way, blah 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 blah. Then you're gonna have these kids play 4 more games, which again, mind you, Shaq. Now we've gotten to the point where there are guys who are opting out and not even playing in their bowl games, period. So you're going to count on these guys who, again, are not getting paid. A lot of at least officially, they're not getting paid. Maybe they take money under the table. Who the hell knows? But you're going to ask these kids to put their bodies on the line.
They not get paid.
For at least another month, if not more. And guess what? Their bodies are their moneymaker. Like Devontae Smith, his body is his moneymaker right now.
Yeah, and
which is why, Shaq, I had such a big problem with Jalen Waddle choosing to play in that game because after his second time he touched the ball, he pulls up, he's hurt. You didn't see him the rest of the game. Why? Oh, why?
It's like I don't fault him as a player because you got to understand, like when you got the heart for the game and then that's like a once in a life chance opportunity to play in the game, that game of that magnitude. So you got to take advantage of it. But like you said, sometimes you got to protect the players from themselves because everybody knows that his career doesn't end at Alabama. It doesn't end there. You know what I'm saying? He's going to the league. He's going to the big time. So you don't want to risk yourself or risk your career on the next level just for one game.
Exactly.
And Alabama already had the advantage.
Exactly. Lante says it. I understand because, guys, again, I played 4 years of college football. I understand it's a huge pride thing. It's a competitor thing, too. You want to play if you are able to play. I totally understand that. And 99 times out of 100, Shaq, you know me by now. 99 times out of 100, I'm going to say if you can play, play.
Yep.
But if you're someone like Jalen Waddle, who, mind you, had not played a competitive snap since week 2, all of a sudden now your first game back is the national championship.
No, I can't do that.
Check that would be like, let's just take this hypothetically. That would be like if Tyreek Hill was out since the preseason, got hurt week 1. That'd be basically saying that he's out this entire season and that his first game back in pads is the Super Bowl.
Yep, and it's not going to work out.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah, we gotta protect players from themselves, and then also, like I said, my big problem always with college is that like as much money as they making off these players back, and they're not getting paid, like. And usually only like some of like the top players who know for sure that they're like the number 1 pick or a top 5 lottery and like that, they'll get insurance on their body. So just in case they get hurt, anything like that, they be insured. But it's like, it's usually harder for football players. They usually don't do that. And football have so many rounds. So it's just players got to protect themselves from themselves. But, like I said, good national championship game. Alabama was going to win. I told you that from the jump. So it is what it is on that one.
Yep, exactly. So, guys, let us know what you think about what the future of college football holds because, Shaq, I will be honest, though, this college football season, more so than any other athletic competition I've watched during this whole COVID thing, college football felt way different with next to no people in the stands at some of these games. I mean, the Alabama-Auburn game, the Iron Bowl, it was like a ghost town in there.
Yep.
Because, and I know I think it was like 20% capacity, which, again, given the size of those stadiums, especially at the SEC schools, 20% capacity is still a lot of people. But it does not feel like it did not feel like college football season without the fans screaming and yelling and all that sort of good stuff. So, guys, let us know what you guys think the NCAA should consider going forward in regards to the national championship and just college football in general. And speaking of contact, guys, you should follow both Shaq and I on all of our social media platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at Kevin B. the Gamer. You can follow me on Instagram at _Berg Squad. Please go subscribe to the Main Event Chicago YouTube channel. This broadcast will be posted up on the YouTube channel shortly after we're done.
Also.
And more importantly, you guys can go follow Shaq on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you guys are not part of the SB Talk Sports Facebook group, please message Shaq or I so we can add you guys to that Facebook group.
Yep.
You can follow Shaq on everything else at SB Talk Sports, including his YouTube channel under the same exact name. And Shaq, have you hit 100 subscribers yet?
Oh, I'm at 130 right now.
Hey!
So we're moving up. Also, everybody who in the chat, so join the SB Talk Sports YouTube. So, like, I'm gonna do a show like how we do this one, but only thing different gonna be about man is that I'm gonna let people in the chat actually get on the show. I'm gonna have a panel like 8-10 people. So if you want to be on the show and talk sports, go add my YouTube SB Talk Sports and add it. And then whenever I start live streaming, you can join the show and then be a part of it, like how me and Kevin doing right here. This is just main event. We ain't, we just do comments on this and we add everybody on this. But the one on YouTube, whoever want to join, you get it on in.
So everybody, what are you guys waiting for? Let's get Shaq to 150. And Shaq, also before we move on, I saw that you had a sponsor for a video recently.
Yeah, I definitely got a couple sponsors so far. So I'm moving on a little bit, moving slowly but surely, we're moving on up. I'm trying my hardest. What we got next?
So guys, we are going to be moving on from college football to the NFL. And obviously, it's been a couple weeks. I just wanted to wrap up quickly what happened in wild card action because, Shaq, with the end of Wild Card Weekend 2 weeks ago, we kind of more or less saw the end of an era in football because longtime quarterback Phillip Rivers, that was his last game. Phillip Rivers officially announced his retirement afterwards. That man, I think, is going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's going to be a first ballot or not.
First,
but he's
probably not first ballot, but Hall of Famer, yeah.
Hall of Famer, yes. With Seattle losing to the Rams, Greg Olsen announced this long-time Pro Bowler and tight end Greg Olsen. He announced that he was done. He's retiring.
Yeah, I think Drew Brees done too. Even though he haven't announced, I think he's done. That injury was too bad, bro. I think he's done.
Oh yeah, and Drew Brees, obviously, we saw. He announced that was going to be his last game. That was going to be his last game in the Superdome, regardless. Drew Brees has announced his retirement. Jack, I mean, two other players that I know their teams didn't make the playoffs, but two players that I've long admired for their skill and their longevity. Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona and long-time running back in the NFL, Frank Gore. Both announced their retirements as well.
And shout out to Frank Gore because he was like for him playing the one position where after a certain age they just cast you away like a castaway. For him to last as long in the league is amazing. Frank Gore is definitely a legend. He might be first ballot Hall of Fame. I might give it to him, though. I think he might be first ballot, but he's going to be a Hall of Fame, first ballot or not.
I'll say, check. Do you think Larry Fitzgerald's first ballot Hall of Famer?
He better be. He should be.
All righty. So, yeah, I mean, so, guys, that pretty much just wraps up Wild Card Weekend. I mean, Jack, also, I can't really say that I was surprised with the Browns kind of took care of business against the Steelers. Obviously, we're going a little bit further back than we were planning on it. Divisional round, really not too many surprises there. If I'm going to be totally honest here.
Yeah, we just doing the whole since we had the Super Bowl. We just reviewing how we got to where we at right now. Everybody.
So I mean, the Packers beating the Rams, that was no surprise. Shaq, I did expect a little bit more out of the Ravens when it came to the Bills. I expected a little bit more out of them if I'm honest.
Why does everybody doubt the Bills? The Bills is good. They are a good team. They're good.
No, don't mistake my criticism for me downplaying how well the Bills played and how good they are. Don't mistake that. Shaq, it caught.
I didn't see.
Because that was the thing is that the Ravens, Shaq, they kind of just looked like they more or less just lied down and just took it.
Yeah. See, the problem with I love Lamar Jackson, and I'm glad that he actually got his first playoff win because I was hating the narrative that was building up against him that he can't win a playoff game. So, what the narrative is going to be is you can't win a playoff game with the style of play he plays or a black quarterback. So I'm glad he got that out the way. But Lamar Jackson's problem is, and I even heard somebody say, so I'm not going to even take credit for saying this. I heard somebody say this on another sports show I was on YouTube that if Lamar Jackson first open is not there, his first option, he always takes off. I was like, nah, man, no. That literally the whole game. If his first option wasn't, true. It's true. Rewatch that game. Rewatch that last game against the Bills. If his first option wasn't open, he took off every time. He got to get better at reading the field and then putting the ball on the money. But yeah.
So Shaq, who does that sound like?
Mr. Trubisky?
No.
Oh, I would say don't disrespect Lamar. Call him Mitch. We know we're not doing that.
No, that's literally Atlanta Falcons Michael Vick.
Oh, Blur. Vick was on a different level though. Vick can throw the ball. No, he can't. I mean, I see the comments down here. I'm sorry, guys. Slamming the pizza too. I'm hungry. He said, Larry Fitzgerald or Rose. Larry Fitzgerald didn't get that ring. Remember they lost to the Steelers, and he can throw the ball. He just can throw. Speaking the truth as a Ravens fan, shout out to you being a Ravens fan. But no, I don't really think Lamar. I ain't gonna argue that Lamar can't throw. He's not the best of throwers in the league, compared to like the other quarterbacks. Like if we had to go from the quarterbacks who was left from Josh Allen, Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, and then like Lamar Jackson would be the first thrower out of all.
Check. I don't think there's anybody in the league who can throw the ball like Josh Allen, because I'm sure you've probably seen this man threw the ball from his 20 and threw it to the goal line on the fly. That man can launch the ball 80 yards like it's nothing.
80 yards like it's nothing. He was throwing a Nerf ball. That's true. AJ Jones said, "Man, I'll beat anybody on the NBA topic." Add my YouTube at SB Talk Sports. Sub to it. So I'm gonna start live streaming. I'm gonna let people join in on the live panels with my live stream up. Please join, and I guarantee you won't beat me in no basketball debate. But we continue, so let's talk about the games yesterday. So
I guess we'll start. Do we want to start with the NFC or AFC?
I mean, the AFC, you want to just knock that one out because I feel like we're going to go at it more on this Packers and Buccaneers game. I really thought the Bills had a legit chance, but it was just it was too much Chiefs. And I thought the score would be at least a little bit closer than what it was, because I ain't gonna lie, the Buccaneers and Packers game was way more interesting than the AFC game that we got. But we got a great storyline coming up in the bowl, I can tell you that. But I'm gonna let you go then.
Yeah. But check. I mean, to be honest, the Bills got off to a good start. They put up 9, but the whole thing is the Chiefs only giving up 9 points in the first quarter. That was a huge win for the Chiefs, because check it. The Bills get even one touchdown out of those 3 field goals, and instead of
3 field goals,
they take 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. All of a sudden, you're up by that much. That's going to be a hell of a lot harder to come back from. And honestly, Shaq, I think the Bills, they came out in that first quarter and tried to punch Kansas City in the mouth. Which they should do. But the whole thing is, I think they used up all their gas in that first quarter, because then when Kansas City came back and threw a counterpunch, the Bills kind of just they weren't able to respond. That the Chiefs took the best shot that Buffalo had, and then after that, there really wasn't that much of an answer for it, because Pat Mahomes did Pat Mahomes things, 29 to 38, 325, 3 TDs. Darrell Williams had 13 rushes, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyreek, Shaq, how many times are we going to talk about how good Tyreek Hill is? 9 catches, 172. Travis Kelce, 13 for 118 and 2 scores. You can't say much more else about the weapons that Kansas City has, because we've already talked about untold amounts of time.
It's crazy that the Buccaneers and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, because they both got probably the best lineup of weapons at receivers than anybody in the league. It's ridiculous though. It's crazy. Yeah. And the problem with and how to beat the Chiefs, well, I'm gonna get more into this when we talk Bucks Chiefs too, is you got to be able to handle their run, because the Chiefs gonna get a run. It's baby, can you be up by enough points to contain their run, or can you hold out or battle back? Because I haven't seen the Chiefs not make a run. They like how Golden State was at a point in time. They gonna get their run, and it's like you said, what you gonna do to contain it?
Yep. So I'm and Jack, the thing is that they are sneakily good at running the football. People think that Kansas City is just Pat Mahomes dropping back to pass and then scrambling if there's absolutely nothing open. But I'm telling you people that Shaq, Kansas City can run the football with the best of them when they have to, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is extremely underrated in terms of how good he is at running the football. Darrell Williams is again underrated as a running back. I understand running backs now, they're more or less a dime a dozen nowadays. But those guys, they fit that mold that Kansas City and Andy Reid want to run. But as you said, the NFC game was easily the one that I was the most interested in. But before we get into the game itself, What did I tell you?
I said the same
What
thing.
did I tell you?
I said the same thing. I literally said the same thing. You cannot doubt Brady.
No, you said, and I quote, I think it's Aaron Rodgers' time to go back to the Super Bowl.
But now look,
You
wait, let me defend myself.
said
Let me defend myself. I said, because I didn't expect the Seahawks to choke. I said if the Buccaneers played the Packers in the round before the NFC Championship, the Packers will win. But I said if they play an NFC Championship game, the Bucs going to win because the Packers are NFC game. I don't know what they curse. They can't get past the NFC Championship game. I don't know why they curse. So I didn't say that because I'll let you know right now. I will never ever doubt Tom Brady. That is the GOAT. He's the undivided GOAT.
As I've said, and I will say it until he is 95, and they're still wheeling him out to throw touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Tom Brady is playing Eli Manning and the New York Giants, I will bet on Tom Brady 100 times out of 100, no matter what.
I won't doubt that, man. It's crazy that, like, bro, he made it to the Super Bowl. If anybody doubt if this man is the GOAT, he is 10 times. They said his percentage of making it to the Super Bowl is higher than Steph Curry making the three-pointer. Like, that is ridiculous. And Steph Curry is the greatest three-point shooter of all time. If anybody, I don't want to hear no Joe Montana. I don't want to hear no Peyton Manning. I don't want to hear no Drew Brees. I don't want to hear nobody. Dan Marino. I don't want to hear nobody. Tom Brady is the GOAT, period.
Yeah, Tom Brady has been to the Super Bowl more times than Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers combined.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah. Hey, Bill Belichick. She should have just gave man some weapons. That's all you had to do.
Everybody, I think, Shaq, I honestly think this puts to bed the argument that Tom Brady is a system quarterback.
Yeah,
because
I go up. I don't even want to hear that he stacked the deck with receivers and all that because that's all he's been begging for since he's been in New England. Can y'all please give me some options to throw the ball? So why would I leave and not show y'all what I wanted and what I could do with what I wanted? Like,
and Shaq, I mean, well, I'll be honest here because I watched this entire game. Yes, people are like, oh, well, he threw 3 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 picks. I'll tell you what, one of those interceptions was Mike Evans' fault because, Shaq, I don't know what the hell happened to Mike Evans, but that man couldn't catch a cold yesterday. Mike Evans, was it a very slightly overthrown ball?
Yeah.
Maybe. But guess what? Mike Evans is a Pro Bowl caliber receiver.
Yes.
I expect my Pro Bowl caliber receiver to catch the football. Because if he catches that football, Shaq, it's a touchdown.
Yep.
It's a touchdown.
Shout out Scotty Miller, too. That young man a dog. Yeah, young man a dog.
But instead, it goes off his hands again. And then gets tipped in the air. And yes, Scotty Miller makes he made a good play. Guess what? He caught the football. So, Shaq, again, the other 2 ones, I mean, the third one he threw where he kind of just threw it up to grabs because he was under pressure. And Mike Evans, again, I don't know where the hell he thought the football was because he didn't even turn around to look for the football until it was already in the hands of the guy on the Packers. I don't blame that necessarily on Tom Brady. The first one was definitely his fault. But the thing is, Shaq, as I said it yesterday, if the Bucs were going to lose yesterday or if they lose this Super Bowl, I don't think they're going to lose it because of Tom Brady. I think they're going to be losing it because the receivers on his team can't seem to catch the football.
But you have to
But you got to give credit. Hold on, let me pull up what's the name from this game too. Give the Buccaneers defense credit, man. They came to play. They won that game because let's be real.
They got after Rodgers. They got after him.
Let's be real. Tom Brady's second half was bad. He just came up clutch when he needed to come through clutch, but that second half was bad. Let's be real.
Yep.
That second half.
Absolutely.
But they defense came to play. And I ain't gonna lie, the Buccaneers defense won that game. Because see, with a quarterback like Tom Brady, like I said, dealing with the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to be able to handle that run. Tom Brady has the ability to handle that run. But it's just like before the run happened or after, can their defense shows up? Because Kansas City when they get their run, they're gonna at least score like 3 times. When they get hot, it's ugly.
And I mean, Shaq, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Bucks took Aaron Rodgers out of this game because I mean they were in his face the entire game. Your alter ego, Shaq Barrett. I mean, that man had 3 sacks. JPP had Jason Pierre-Paul had 2. JPP, one of his sacks was on third down, like in third and goal. Too.
Yep.
So,
speaking of that, I wanted your opinion on this. Last play, 4th quarter, 4th and goal. Is you kicking that field goal or are you going for it?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So
because Shaq, because let's be real here. Let's say Matt LaFleur does decide to go for it. If they don't get it, then everybody's going to be yelling at him saying, why didn't you take the easy points? If they do get it, then you still have to do the onside kick, which I'll point out they didn't get anyway. So then it's like, well, what the hell else do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why I said it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. He took the 3 points because he had enough confidence in his defense with the way they'd been playing in that second half, which at that point in the game, with the way they've been playing against Tom Brady, I don't really blame you.
But
you had enough confidence in your defense to go get the ball and give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers, who, as you and I have seen, Shaq, how many times have we thought that man was down and out, and he comes back to get a game-winning drive together?
Now, there's another question, because I overheard this too, though. Now, does this make the Packers go back and look and say, like, because 2 things. Because one is about Aaron Rodgers' I'll figure it out way. One is about Aaron Rodgers' conference after the game, when he's talking to the media, is a thing that he said. And I want to ask you that question on that. And then 2, it was like, now do you go back and look at that Jordan Love pick and like maybe you should have added something more to the defense, or maybe you should have gave Aaron Rodgers another weapon? And then 2, the question that he said in the post-conference meeting, he said that I want to thank all you guys in the media. It sounded like he was giving off the expression of this might be his last game as the Packers. So my question for you is, what should the Packers – is you still cool with them taking Jordan Love? And second, do you believe this is Aaron Rodgers' last game that we've seen him in the Packers uniform?
Shaq, I was never good with them taking Jordan Love from the start.
Yeah, I give you that. You wasn't.
I said, why of all things would you take a quarterback when you have Aaron Rodgers? I mean, Shaq, that is the definition of insanity. It's the same thing with the Bears. The Bears need a quarterback, so you know how they improve the quarterback position? They draft every other position but the quarterback.
I like that they got Cole Kmet, but they should have got somebody on the line. I ain't gonna lie.
It doesn't make any sense to me, Shaq. Like at the very least, I think Aaron Rodgers has 3, maybe even 4 more great years in him. Yeah. Because remember, he is 34 years old, but remember, guys, Aaron Rodgers didn't play basically at all his first 3 to 4 seasons because guess who he was studying behind? Another Hall of Fame quarterback, Brett Favre. So he's got, I think, at least 3 to 4 great years left in it.
I think he got one more ball in him, too. Maybe.
In regards to you asking the question, do you think this is Aaron Rodgers' last game in the Packers uniform? Truth be told, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Shaq, is Aaron Rodgers has always been an enigma.
Yeah.
Even in the NFL with crazy personalities like Antonio Brown, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, again, those are just the names that I thought of immediately off the top of my head. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers has always been an enigma. I mean, this is the same guy who has come out on multiple occasions and said that he doesn't communicate with his parents.
Right.
He doesn't get his parents tickets to come see him play.
Which is weird.
He said that if they ever go to Wisconsin, then yes, he will make sure they have seats. But he does not go out of his way to have his parents come to his games. He basically hasn't done that since he left Cal. So This man he's a complete and total enigma. I cannot honestly sit here and try to speculate what Aaron Rodgers is thinking, because unlike a lot of other professional athletes that we see, we really don't know him at all. Even from a professional standpoint, we have no idea who this man
Aaron Rodgers
really
give
is.
me like the old school 90s before social media vibe. That's like he one of those guys. Like you just know him from when you see him on the field, but it's just like you said, he's just like a total enigma. And then it's like I know with him having like 2 years left on his contract, it's gonna be hard to move him. But I feel like if he pressed the issue of saying trade me, I believe he can get traded. And because I feel like now, like the Packers might want to move on because I believe they're losing a lot of players too. So Aaron Rodgers might know that and put that in his mind, like, you know what, this is probably my last good year with this team where I can really legitimately make a run at the title. So it might be over with. But then, I'm saying, then another thing you got to look at too, though, Kevin. I know before we talk this ball, I want to get to it off topic. It's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. Well, I'm gonna tell you about your Chicago Bears. It's your Bears. It's 3. I'm gonna make sure my fingers here showing. It's 3 great quarterbacks available. And like the team, like I'm glad Noah just said that, like the 49ers who need a quarterback. Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers because he's unhappy. If y'all don't get a quarterback out of those 3, the Bears fans don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me don't make no more videos clowning y'all. Oh, Shaq, you a Chargers fan, you don't know, blah, blah, blah. We got a quarterback. We good. Our future looking bright. But if you got these 3 quarterbacks who are available, even if you don't know about Aaron Rodgers, you got 2 guaranteed with Stafford and Watson, which people should go get Watson, but we know the Bears not gonna sign Watson. We ain't gonna go into politics of why the Bears Watson ain't gonna be in the Bears jersey. That's a different story for a different day. But we know why he ain't gonna play for the Bears. But whatever. But the point is that I'm saying while I'm rambling off, it's too many quarterbacks available. If y'all don't go get a quarterback or draft Zach Wilson, I'm done with the Bears. Another how I feel to be the Bears fan part 3 video gonna drop. I'm letting you know that.
Shaq, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. However, there's a couple problems with your theory. Number one, I will not save it for another day. I will reiterate again why the Bears will not get Deshaun Watson, because that means the Bears would have to willingly let a black man play quarterback for them. I don't believe ownership wants to do. 2,
they cheat too.
They will not get Matt Stafford because the Lions would be stupid to trade him in the division. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the Packers will not trade Aaron Rodgers to the Bears either for the same reason. Not only that, but guess what? Shaq, if the Bears went out and got an established veteran quarterback like a Matt Stafford or an Aaron Rodgers, you know what that does to Matt Nagy?
You got to make him coach.
No, it's not even that they make him coach. If you have Matt Stafford or Matt Nagy, Shaq, as your quarterback is effectively going to be able to tell the head coach, who may or may not be the play caller next year, to sit down and shut up. I've been to how many games? Like, especially, let's just take Aaron Rodgers. I've been to a Super Bowl. I've been to 5 NFC championship games. What the hell have you done?
Yeah, I mean, and you know it's bad for Nagy. Yeah, I'm saying you know it's bad for Nagy when Nick Foles said what he said. Like, he literally called a player, and I look at him like, I know this player's not going to work. And you traded for this guy. You called and asked him to get to this. Your person who's saying this about you. That's bad.
And while we're on the topic of the dumpster fire that is the Bears, because we didn't talk about it when they lost, they inevitably lost.
We knew it was going to happen.
No, Shaq, you know what bothers me the most about this whole thing is the reason why the Bears are this mediocre. Because Shaq, they're not even bad; they're a laughing stock in the NFL.
They wasted their good defense too. That's what's blowing me.
I don't even want to talk about a good defense, Shaq. This entire organization is a laughing stock, starting from ownership all the way down.
That's
because the ownership family doesn't care how average they are. As long as they get in the playoffs, that's all that counts. the Ted Phillips, who has been in a position of power to make decisions for far too long. He doesn't care. Ryan Pace has a job. That's all he cares about. Matt Nagy at least tried to change somewhat, but the fact of the matter is, Shaq, there's only so much you can do as the head coach, whatever. But the big splash they did, Shaq, is Chuck Pagano retired. That was their big move. Because guess what, Shaq? They're stuck with this roster.
Yep.
They're stuck with it.
Yep.
And I'm so tired of looking at this Bears offense. Because, check, this Bears offense doesn't even know what it wants to be.
Nope.
The head coach wants it to be like Kansas City's offense, except they don't have a great quarterback. They don't have a top-tier elite track sprinter to be their deep threat. And I know what you're going to say, Darnell Mooney. I like Darnell Mooney, Shaq, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet. He had a great rookie campaign, but let's see if he can do a year two.
Give him a quarterback.
I want to see if he can
put Mooney on the Chiefs. He's gonna become a Cole Hartman so fast.
Cole Kmet is no Travis Kelce yet.
But
I do agree the last time you and I talked that Cole Kmet, if he's coached properly, could be the next Rob Gronkowski. I fully agree with that.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this is the problem with the Bears. They got two future offensive weapon juggernauts, and they're gonna waste them. Because Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney can be the next Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying Mooney is as fast as him, and I ain't saying Cole Kmet has got the hands of like Travis Kelce, but you know what I mean. They have that potential and they have that skill set to be that right combination. They just don't have a quarterback.
And on top of all that, they don't have a quarterback, which, again, I will point out for the 1,000th time, the GM said in his press conference, I'm going to draft a quarterback every year, which he hasn't. And then I'm so sick, Shaq, of people getting on the Bears. Oh, this guy David Montgomery is garbage. This guy's terrible. Guess what? Y'all weren't saying he was bad in the second half of the season. He was running all over creation.
They wasn't giving him a chance.
But and Shaq, it bothers me because I've actually legitimately heard someone tell me that this Bears offense is going to be more explosive once Tariq Cohen is back healthy. Tariq Cohen is a 10-cent version of Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles was nice, and I think
Darren Sproles was nice. Tariq Cohen is no Darren Sproles.
Go ahead.
Because unlike Darren Sproles, Shaq, he was never asked to do something he was not good at. Shaq, in all of Darren Sproles' years on the Chargers and the Saints, how many times did you see I know the Eagles too, but his most productive years were when he was with the Chargers and the Saints. How many times did you see Darren Sproles run the ball between the tackles?
Not a lot.
Not a whole hell of a lot, right? So why is Tariq Cohen running the ball between the tackles?
No. You know why? I'm telling you know why Tariq Cohen gonna have a good productive year when the Bears come back. When he come out with the Bears, because all Matt Nagy do is throw 2-yard passes. So who that's gonna go to? Tariq Cohen. So he gonna have a productive year because that's all y'all throw. It's 2 to 5 yard passes.
Guess what? Defense. Oh, you guys are gonna get yours too. Don't you worry. Guess what? I understand that it sucked not having Eddie Goldman, your starting nose, the entire season.
Yeah,
I understand that some guys were backed up. But guess what? There's 11 of y'all on the field.
I mean,
where the hell is everybody? Khalil Mack and Akeem can't make every tackle. Roquan Smith can't make every tackle.
I hear that. But you can't have the defense on the field for the majority of the game, Kev, and expect them to play good all season.
Shaq, I understand. But guess what? At the end of the day, there's no excuse for the lack of production from a guy like Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
Eddie Jackson has played at a Pro Bowl level.
Yes.
And this year,
I
can honestly think Eddie Jackson was trash this year.
I mean, I won't deny that.
Trash.
I'm not arguing that at all. I'm not at all. I can't argue that. Only argument I got for that is that they've been on the field. They've been on the field majority of the game. But it's like how far that's gonna go.
Don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter. Guess what? You want to get off the field, Eddie Jackson? Go catch the football. Go make a play.
Yeah.
That was the thing this year, Shaq. Nobody on this defense stepped up to consistently make plays.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Tired or not, at the end of the day, football is about you making more plays than the other team. And the Bears on both sides in all three phases of the game couldn't do it.
But look, but this is the problem. Okay, look, I was just want to look it up. All right, when they played the Saints game, right, they lost 9-21. The Saints time of possession 38 minutes. The Bears time of possession 21 minutes.
Yeah, because
that's
guess
almost
what?
double the time.
Because the Saints could run the football. The Saints just ran up and down the field.
Mm-hmm.
They ran up and down the field on the Bears. And you know what, Shaq? When you're a professional defense that's supposed to be on the with the caliber of talent the Bears have in that front seven, at the end of the day, someone in that front seven has to step up and make a play because you just getting shoved up and down the field. That's the Saints just saying, hey, you're the Bears defense. We don't care. We're going to run the ball up and down the field because we can.
Yep, and the Bears need to go back to that because the Bears always have been running team. Now, perfect example. Now I'm going to the next time because like people just like you can go do the schedule of any game. So I'm not going to go to the schedule. I'm going to both Saints games. Now I'm at this Saints game when the Bears lost in overtime by 3 points. Saints time possession 35 minutes. Bears time possession 33. So see with the defense not that owners. The field and the offense equal, they have a better chance. But you're not going to be nobody if you're giving up 38 to 40 minutes of time possession when you're only getting 20. They having the ball more than double the time that you have. Like you don't have the weapon on offense that you can just allow that to happen.
And see, Shaq, therein lies the problem. Matt Nagy's offense is designed to score quickly. But the Bears can't score quickly because they don't have enough explosive weapons to get 1, 2, 3 play 80-yard drives. They can't do that.
Nope.
This
all.
roster works against itself.
Yep.
This roster has been constructed to work against itself. And there is literally no hope that I can see. There isn't. There straight up isn't unless Matt Nagy completely changes his philosophy and Ryan Pace gets his head out of his ass.
And that's not going to happen.
Yes, everybody. I said it. I don't think Ryan Pace should have a job anymore. Now, guess what? Matt Nagy has 2 more years left on his contract. If you want to let him coach out the last year or 2 of his deal, go right ahead. That's fine. That's fine. But this man, Ryan Pace, does not deserve to be the GM anymore. And Shaq, I know exactly why he's still there because the Bears cannot be bothered to do the work.
Because
to bring in an actual GM. They don't want to be bothered.
No, because I'm going to tell you why. Another thing that they do, they know that certain Bears fans, in which I feel like they need to be outraged like how the Bulls was on All-Star Weekend, and the Bulls start making moves, get it together. I done heard this out of a couple Bears fans' mouth because like I said, I'm a Chargers fan, so they try to stick it to me, and they'll be like, "Well, we made the playoffs." I'm saying that's y'all problem right there. Y'all are just happy with making the playoffs. Y'all should have just tanked the year, knowing that y'all going to go right to the playoffs for nothing and lose in the first round. That's the problem with Bears fans. Y'all are just happy with being mediocre. Like I would not be happy if the Chargers make the playoffs when I know they're going to lose. If they don't have a good chance to win, what's the point of making the playoffs? And then the ownership knows that they're going to just be like, we're not spending no money this offseason. We're not making no moves. You know why? Because we just made the playoffs. And they know every single one of you Bears fans are happy with that, so they just going to be cool with it. And they're not going to do nothing at all. And you know this the truth, Kevin. And you know this the truth. I guarantee you a Bears fan told you, well, at least we made the playoffs. I know they did. And I know, and that's so stupid. And what's the point? I rather would have seen the Cardinals make the playoffs. They had a better chance.
You know what the worst part is, Shaq? The only reason the Bears made the playoffs is because the NFL added a second wild card for this year. That's the only reason why they were in position in the first place.
And then, hold on, wait.
Any other normal season, the Bears would have been out.
Would have been out. And then you know what made it even worse? They lost the game. Only they got in because the Cardinals choked and lost too. So it's like you couldn't even get the job done to get in. You just luckily got in because the Cardinals didn't do their job. So you got in by default, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, enough about terrible football. Let's talk about the football game that we're actually looking forward to. With Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and the Bucs going up against Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs. So,
by the way, can I say this? Can I say it? Because you know what the storyline we all finna hear. One, Tom Brady said gonna be like, does the GOAT still got it? Is he still the GOAT? Or is it time to pass is it the passing of the torch to Patrick Mahomes? That's all we finna hear, Kevin, and you know that's true. That's all we finna hear. Is this the passing of the torch? And I say no, I'm not. Once again, I'm not doubting that man, Tom Brady. I can't do it, even though Pat Mahomes is my homeboy. That's my homeboy, but I can't.
No, sir.
I cannot doubt that man, Tom Brady, because you got to come out. You like the Chiefs can't come out playing the same way they usually play. Every time Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl, their team came out like totally different, pulling all the tricks out the bag and everything like that. So. But I can't wait to watch this game, though.
I mean, Shaq, and the thing is I have analyzed this game and this roster for the Bucs in comparison to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq, and weapons aside, this Bucs team is the only one in the league, I think, that can truly compete with the Chiefs, and here's why. Because the Bucs are able to beat you any way they want to beat you on offense. Because as we've seen in the last 6 to 8 weeks, Shaq, the Bucs can run the football. They can run the football. So guess what? If they want to grind you out, and if Tom Brady wants to take Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich want to take their time grinding out 50, 60, 70 yards, they can.
And then
if Byron Leftwich wants to hit you with 2 plays and a play action pass down the field, they can.
Because people forget this, Kevin. People forget Leonard Fournette was a beast. Like, people just think because the Jaguar just pretty much just gave him away for nothing. Like, Leonard Fournette was not garbage. Like, he was,
Leonard Fournette, looking at his stats, he only had 97 touches this year, 367 yards, 6 touchdowns. But guess what, Shaq? That man, Ronald Jones, that's a bad man running the football. Shy of 1,000, under 200 attempts. He rushed for 978 yards, 7 TDs, 98 yards was his longest. Shaq, that man is averaging 5 yards a carry. Guess what? You get me averaging 5 yards a carry. Leonard Fournette's averaging just under 4. You get either of those two over the course of 4 quarters. Oh my God! That is going to be the biggest key, Shaq. Is how is Kansas City's defense going to stop this running game?
And then for the Buccaneers, I'll go ahead. I would say for the Bucs. Oh, go.
Go ahead.
No, I would say for the Bucs, I'll piggyback on what you said. For the Bucs to do on their side is, can they limit the amount of possession that Patrick Mahomes can get? Like I said with that running game. There you go.
And Shaq, I mean, the thing is too that we got to remember in this NFC Championship game, the Bucs played without arguably their best defensive back in Antoine Winfield Jr. So is he going to be healthy in this game? And
what about
also
Antonio Brown? What do you know about him?
Antonio Brown? He was listed out with a knee, so that's what the injury report was going into this past weekend. So I mean, Shaq, they got 2 weeks. Players on both sides, they got 2 weeks to get their bodies right. get healthy. I mean, the only person who was really, like Le'Veon Bell was listed as questionable with a knee, Clyde Edwards-Helaire with a foot, Sammy Watkins with a calf. I mean, that's going to be the big thing. Is Kansas City's defense going to be able to step up? Who's going to be available? And in terms of else for Tampa Bay, how is their pass rush going to fare against Patrick Mahomes? Because if their pass rush is as good against Kansas City as it was against the Packers, that's a game changer.
That is a game changer
right there.
Yeah, that is. It's definitely a game changer because, like I said, if that Buccaneers defense played the same way they played yesterday against the Packers, yeah, you can might as well sign, seal, deliver the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay, where the Super Bowl is located in Tampa Bay, right? Which is great.
Yep. Yeah. It's the first time an NFL team will be playing in the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
And it's sad because the COVID, they're not gonna really get the real crowd there. Because imagine that having that home field advantage at the Super Bowl. Ooh, that's different. That's different because at the Super Bowl, both teams are on neutral ground. It's just like this ain't our home base. This ain't your home base. This is neutral ground. So.
Well, and it's check. I mean, at that point, it's not even just home field advantage. It's you not having to stay in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's you not having to go to a different practice facility. It's you being able to get a home cooked meal or have your same routine. You can show up at maybe not the same time because we know the Super Bowl it goes on literally forever. But. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, you don't have any different routine throughout the week. I mean, yeah, there's media week and all that other type of garbage. But in terms of, like, day-to-day, like, practice-wise and that sort of stuff, locker room, it's the same locker room. You have the same locker, same trainers, same towels, all that type of stuff. I understand how trivial it sounds, but athletes, just like everybody else, are they like a routine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be huge for Tampa Bay. They're instantly going to be at an advantage with something like that. You're able to stay in your same place.
Yeah, I got a question for you too. How about I wonder how the guys feel of those players who was released from their old teams who are in the Super Bowl right now, who was saying, "We are better without you." Number one on that list. Tom Brady. Bill Belichick's not in the playoffs. Tom Brady made it to the Super Bowl. Number two, the Steelers and the Raiders. We are better without you, Antonio Brown. Did not make the playoffs. Steelers got beat by the Browns. Antonio Brown in the Super Bowl. Number three, Le'Veon Bell. The Jets. Do I need to say more? It's the Jets. And the Steelers. They look more like they was better without you, man. They made the right choices. Now they on both teams that made it to the Super Bowl. And just shout out to that goal of the man, Tom Brady. That band undeniable goal.
See, Shaq, I'll answer that in reverse order. I think the Steelers should have taken Le'Veon Bell. If you didn't want to keep Antonio Brown, that's fine because I mean they got Juju. They got my guy from Notre Dame, Chase Claypool. They're fine at receiver. But Shaq, I honestly thought they were tweaking when they let Le'Veon Bell walk, because that was basically saying, "Oh, we think James Conner's good enough to replace Le'Veon Bell."
And actually, this year they could have used Le'Veon Bell a lot. This year, Le'Veon Bell probably had an MVP year. Yes, they needed him bad. I needed them. You know what they thought? They thought because when the Chargers let go of Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler stepped up the way that he did, they like, oh, we can do the same thing too. But people forget this. Melvin Gordon got hurt and he also sat out. So we got to see Austin Eckler take the step forward and say, you know what? He can do this. Connor didn't show that. I don't get what nobody say. He didn't show that to me. I said they should have kept Le'Veon Bell.
And also, Melvin Gordon still has a problem holding on to the
Yes, sir. I was like, get him up out of here. You see, I ain't complaining at all.
So
when he was gone.
And Shaq, I mean, in terms of the Brady Belichick thing, I truth be told, I think it was more of a mutual thing because I think they both wanted to prove that they could win without the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tom Brady has still said that in interviews that his relationship with Bill Belichick has not changed like hardly at all. Mm-hmm. It's just the only difference is that he's not his coach anymore. He said that they still have a great relationship. Mm-hmm. And they both understand that it's a business. Robert Kraft has pretty much said the exact same thing, that it's a business. And I can't say that I'm surprised because Shaq, I mean, if you know the game of football like I do, and you watch all these games like I do, Shaq, Tom Brady is the exact same quarterback now that he was in New England.
Yep.
He expects the best from everybody else on his team. Which is why when people, and I understand there's like, oh, well, Brady didn't go shake this guy's hand, or he didn't go do this, he didn't go do that.
COVID protocol.
Blah, 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 blah.
COVID protocol.
I guess you could chalk some of that up.
I'm joking, but it's the GOAT. He can get away with that.
But, yeah, exactly. I'm like, you guys are acting like he didn't do this in New England either. That's just who he is. That you see him on the sideline. When his teammates screw up, he's yelling at his teammates, his offensive line, his running back, his wide receivers. He did the exact same thing in New England. The only difference is now that he's not on the Patriots and not part of the Patriot way anymore, now all of a sudden it's a problem. When before, it was just the Patriot way, so everybody just shut up and didn't question it.
Yep. Hey, I got a question for you. So if you Tom Brady and you win, even though you got that other year on this contract, should you just go out with the blaze of glory with the last Super Bowl, or you should just go back and play again another year? Because that's a good question, because he only gonna play one more. We know next year is Tom Brady's last year. If he go, I ain't gonna lie. If he go out with a back-to-back, say if he win and then go back-to-back, like that's crazy.
Okay. So the media person in me, Shaq, says yes, he should retire. But knowing what we know about Tom Brady, knowing how competitive he is, I don't think he would.
No. Honestly, in my opinion, I believe that he don't really want to retire after next year. I believe his wife is just like, all right, enough is enough. It's time to hang it up. I think his wife is like pushing the issue now. I think Tom Brady probably would have go for like maybe like 3, maybe 4. I know for 3. I know he would have did like after like 3 years. He would have signed probably like a 3-year deal.
I mean, this man has come out and said that he wants to try to play football until he's 50.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's the only thing pushing the issue. I know it's his wife pushing the issue. Like, all right, enough is enough, Tom. You got to hang it up.
So I'm not sure. I'm going to be interested to find out. I'll be honest. I would love for that situation to come up so we can find out. So Shaq, with that being said, also real quick before we get to our predictions, I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to this halftime show with The Weeknd.
Yeah, The Weeknd. Right.
And I just want to say this now, for the record. I love The Weeknd. You know what I do not love, Shaq?
What?
When other artists come in unannounced and take over the halftime show. They said it is The Weeknd for the halftime show. Do not bring out anybody else.
Say somebody else coming out.
I don't care. I don't want no Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Coldplay. Nobody.
Somebody else is coming out, man. So it's just it. You see, Travis Scott came out of nowhere last time. So like, it's somebody. It's going to be somebody.
No, Travis Scott was scheduled to be there. It was the thing I had a problem with is that when they had Big Boy, but you don't have Andre 3000, how the hell are you going to have one of the headline dudes of Outkast and you not going to have Andre 3000?
Andre 3000 probably turned it down, maybe.
I'm sure he did. So at that point, Shaq, that would be like if you booked NSYNC to do a reunion halftime show, but you didn't have Justin Timberlake. What
Yeah.
is the point?
Just yeah. You put it that way. I can't. Nah. I don't think I don't want Weekend or whatever that face that he be wearing. The one he looked like the dude off Mask. You ever seen Mask? The bad guy who like on Mask. That's what he looked like. I hope he don't have that
One
face
thing
on.
I am interested in is what songs is he gonna perform?
He just dropped the album, so probably something off his album. The
I mean,
last
I'm
song.
sure. I'm sure. Blinded by the Lights.
That's his new song, right?
Sure, oh yeah, that's his new song that I've checked on Spotify. Check that has been downloaded that has been downloaded over 1 million times already.
That's the one he got the face, right? That's the video with his face like plastic surgery.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what else he performed. Like, is it only going to be off his new album, or is he going to be going back a little bit, for maybe like a song or two from Beauty Behind the Madness? Because I mean, that was his first mega big album that really got into the mainstream. Because I know before he was known in R&B, but when he dropped Beauty Behind the Madness, that's when he became more mainstream. So I'm very what type of halftime show they had, because last year's with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, I thought was actually very, very well done. Yeah,
it was definitely good. But no, usually since like with the Super Bowl, they just gonna perform like his newest, biggest songs. I would say his biggest songs, but The Weeknd is such a big artist. Every time he drops something new, it gets bigger and bigger. So probably 9 out of 10, just stuff off the new album.
All righty. So with that being said, Shaq, what is your official prediction for the 2020-2021
oh my God.
Super Bowl?
This
and the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is probably one of the hardest Super Bowls to pick we didn't had in a long time. I'm getting a headache thinking about it, but I'm not. I already did it once. And I'm not going to do it twice. I'm not going to doubt that man, Tom Brady. I'm never going to say Tom Brady going to lose with the money on the line. So if it's Tom Brady, I just got to see him lose, see it to believe it. So I'm picking the Buccaneers to come out and Tom Brady to get his what? That should be sixth or seventh ring? Sixth. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like this is like people don't hold on, like before you say your pick, people do not understand the greatness of this man, bro. Like, put some respect on, like, for anybody to even real life question if he the greatest quarterback is like blasphemous, bro. Like, it's hard to make one Super Bowl, maybe to get multiple ones, but to make the Super Bowl 10 times, man, this is people. This is not like the NBA or baseball where it's a series. So every time it's a series, usually the best team wins. This is a one game. If any one mistake, you could lose the game. And football is the ultimate team sport because Tom Brady can go out here and throw 500 yards, which we've seen him do before, and lose a game because one side don't show up. So for him to just do that and to switch teams and do it again, like, put some respect, man. The GOAT. He the GOAT. Undefined, undeniable GOAT. Now, Kevin, who you got? You got the baby GOAT? Is it time to pass the torch to the baby GOAT? Or the GOAT,
what did I tell
is still
you?
The GOAT.
Anyone who has watched the main event the last 2 to 3 years that Shaq and I have been doing this, I have said this from day one. I will say it now. I will say it tomorrow. I will say it next year. I will say it in 40 years to my kids. Give me Tom Brady against anyone that is not named Eli Manning. Give me that man, Tom Brady. Give me that man, Rob Gronkowski. Because Shaq, there is one other thing that added to my prediction. Gronk only had one catch in that NFC Championship, and it was that tight end screen that he ended up getting like 35 on. I'm telling you, I think one of the biggest plays in this game is going to involve Gronk. I don't know if he's going to be catching the football. I don't know if he's going to be throwing a big block because you and I both know, in addition to Gronk being arguably, right now, if he retired right now, he would go down as the greatest tight end to ever play in the NFL.
Yes, he is
already. He is also not given enough credit, I don't think, Shaq, from non-football people like myself for how good of a blocker he is. Easily the best blocking tight end in the NFL, on top of him already being great at catching the football. So
Mhm.
Give me that man, Tom Brady.
Yep, and I appreciate that.
And give me that man, Tom Brady, by the final score of 35-28.
Okay, I didn't want to put no scoring because I'm like it's gonna be a high scoring game, but I feel like if the score gets over the high 35s, the Chiefs gonna win because I don't believe the Bucs gonna put up that many points. The Chiefs could put up that many points, but this was gonna be different, Kevin. This gonna be the big one. This Super Bowl finna probably break Ravens through the roof because you got the two. We actually got the Super. No, this actually the Super Bowl everybody predicted, and this is the one everybody wanted.
Two generational quarterbacks.
Oh my goodness, this is. Oh man,
the two greatest men to play their positions in the last 50 years, in my opinion.
Bro, Patrick Mahomes is already kind of halfway built up a Hall of Fame resume already, which is crazy. That's great. Oh man, yeah, I can't wait. So you gotta wait 2 weeks though. I can't wait.
Here's my conspiracy theory though on this game. I don't think Patrick Mahomes had a concussion. If truth be told,
you don't think so?
There's no way in hell he had a concussion. Because you're telling me he went from having symptoms to no symptoms in less than 24 hours?
Yeah, I think he just hurt. I think he just hurt his neck.
Yeah, I honestly think he got like a pinched nerve or something in his neck. Which, hey, guess what? You want to be cautious with your franchise quarterback, who I don't know, are going to be paying $250 million to. And
500 to be exact.
Yeah, 500 mil. I don't blame you. I'm not blaming you for being cautious, but what I am saying though is that there was no way in hell he had a concussion going into this game, Shaq. And even if he did, there was no way in hell he was going to be sitting out of that game because there was too much money on the line for the Chiefs, the NFL, and Vegas to have him sit out in that game.
And my conspiracy theory is this. You know what they told him? We paying you almost $500 million. I don't care if you do have concussion. Get out there. You worth you worth $500 million. You playing. That's what they told him. He probably did have a concussion. They didn't care.
I don't think so.
I get you five. I don't think he had one, but jokingly, they probably told him like we got 500 reasons why, 500 million reasons why you're gonna be out there playing. So put your helmet on and see straight. Because we need you to throw a touchdown.
All right. Well, guys, so let us know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Why do you think if you guys got a score, please feel free. If you think some shenanigans are going to happen, please feel free to let us know what your NFL conspiracy theories are. Let us know if you guys have any guesses as to what songs The Weeknd's going to be performing. Let us know if you got the in on any parlays for how long the national anthem is going
to take. That's all you go here.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the blinded by the light. Ooh, I'm blinded by the light. Oh.
Okay, and I will say one thing too. His plastic surgery low-key kind of looked terrible, to be honest with you.
It was fake. It was fake, but if you ever paid attention to like the Weeknd with everything he's been doing, remember how he was like he had the accident like for the movie, then he had the tape bandages on his face. So I guess he said like I don't know, it's like a celebrity thing. I don't know. And he just messed his face up and got plastic surgery and looked terrible. And he's saying that's what pretty much
art. Well, yeah, it looks trashy.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Now before we piss off more people, let's be moving on to the NBA. So, guys, we're going to start out with a bang. Obviously, we're a little bit, at least as far as the main event Chicago is, we're a little bit late. Obviously, I know Shaq wasn't because I watched his video covering said topic.
Thank you.
But a blockbuster, to call it a blockbuster move, Shaq, is kind of not even doing the move itself justice. Bottom line, point blank period, four team deal. James Harden is obviously the biggest player in the deal. Ends up going to Brooklyn, reuniting with Kevin Durant after almost 10 years of playing on different teams. And alongside Kyrie Irving. So, Shaq, I don't know how I didn't know about this trade when it happened. I still don't know how I feel about this. So you are the person who knows more about basketball than I do. I know a lot, but not everything. You devote way more time to basketball than I do.
I definitely do.
So what were your impressions when the trade happened? And now that we've seen the results for a week or two now, what is your take on the trade now?
My first reaction, I was shocked. I knew that James Harden was getting traded because he had that press conference that day saying that, yeah, man, we're just not good enough to get anything done, and it happened. So I was like, yeah, he's out of here. I was just surprised that the Nets forced the issue and got it done. But I was shocked, man. I was shocked. They really gave up a lot of their team though, because they had a nice roster. They gave up a lot of people.
Yeah.
Shout out to and goodwill wishes to Karis LeVert, because with him not getting traded, he would never known he had that. I think it was like a lung or something. Like he had like cancer or something was on one. I think it was a lungs or something like that. So this trade actually saved his life at the same point in time. But now we got another big three in the league. So we're gonna see how everything rock out now. So far, they looked it bad against the Cavaliers. Their defense is still poor. Their defense was kind of bad before James Harden got there, but giving up 147 points to the Cavs is bad. But it really just showed that it showed that their interior defense is terrible. They got to go get another big man. I heard they might be going to get JaVale McGee. I heard they might be going to add Kevin Love, but I don't believe the Kevin Love trade because they don't have – that's your evil twin, Kevin Love. You Kevin, no love. He Kevin Love. But my whole point, they don't have enough to get Kevin Love. But JaVale McGee, yes, maybe. But they got to do something else. But, yeah, the Nets coming out the East. Only thing stopping the Nets is the ambulance car. I don't care what nobody says. Now, in the finals, that's a different story. I don't know. What was your initial reaction?
So Shaq, my initial reaction, I was like, oh crap, the Nets actually did a thing. But then, so I didn't know the initial terms of the deal. But Shaq, I agree. They gave up way too much for this. Because, not only, guys, I have it pulled up here. This is from CBSSports.com. The Rockets, as part of this 14 deal, obviously they sent James Harden to the Nets. The Rockets received Victor Oladipo from Indiana. Rodions, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name, I'll be honest. Yeah, he's pretty much a nobody. So they got him. They got Dante Exum, which I didn't even realize Dante Exum was still in the NBA because he's kind of been a pretty big disappointment from Australia.
Did all that talking. Wasn't even good.
And then they got 4 unprotected first-round picks. Brooklyn's in 2022, 2024, 2026, and Milwaukee's in 2022. And then 4 unprotected first-round pick swaps in 2021, 23, 25, and 27. So, the Rockets did get a ton in return. They got a lot of young talent or potential for young talent in return. The Pacers, as you said, got Karis LeVert and a second-round pick from Houston in 2023. And the Cavs got both Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince.
That was a big loss right there.
Exactly, because, Shaq, you basically gave up your best rim protector and one of your better two-way players in Taurean Prince, who I think is a pretty solid role player. And now you have James Harden, who, hey, don't get me wrong. James Harden gets buckets, as we know. James Harden gets buckets. Even his defense in the last couple of years, Shaq, has gotten noticeably better. Even just by the eye test, it's gotten noticeably better. So you got James Harden, who is averaging so far this season of 13 games, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists a game, pretty much on par for what he's normally at, including 88% from the foul line. You got Kyrie Irving, who, Kyrie Irving is 10 games, 29, just under 30 points, just under 6 assists, 4.5 rebounds. Again, about par for the course. Then you got Kevin Durant. 31 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Again, par for the course But Shaq, the problem is come playoff time, the possessions get a lot fewer,
Mm-hmm.
and the defense gets a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no way that you are going to tell me that the three of them are going to be able to coexist with one basketball for a 7-game series.
I believe so.
Especially playing up against, we're just going to paint the realistical / hypothetical here. If they're going up against that man LeBron and that man AD,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me that those three are going to be able to keep up with the production of LeBron and AD for an entire 7-game series. Now, offensively, they could. There's no question about it. But who the hell on the Nets now is going to be able to stop LeBron?
No.
Who are you if you're Steve Nash, Shaq? Again, let me ask you this question. You're Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone to go out and get a stop on your team. Guess what? I need a defensive stop. Who the hell are you looking to on the Nets that's going to be able to get you a stop?
Now, if you're talking in general, that's tough. I can't just tell you just off the bat, like, hey, man, go out here and get this stop. No. Now, LeBron, I'm going to go Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, they're going to cancel each other out pretty much with Kevin Durant offensive ability.
I agree. Who's going to guard AD then? Because I'll tell you something. DeAndre Jordan ain't going to be able to stay with him for 4 quarters in a 7-game series.
No. I was going to say, then my next question is going to be who's going to guard Kyrie or Harden. So it's going to be both ways. They're going to have a bunch of guys. Ain't nobody. Who you want Caruso to guard him? Caruso going to get cooked.
Well, Shaq, I mean, guess what? That's why LeBron James is the best general manager in the NBA.
Come on, man. No.
It went from the Cleveland LeBrons to the Miami LeBrons. Actually, no, I'll give Pat Riley some credit there. No, that was actually the Miami Heat. Back to the Cleveland LeBrons, and now it's the LA LeBrons.
Don't forget about LeBronto. He never played for LeBronto, but pretty much they were so scared of him. He might as well play for him. They just let him win. So, man, but this definitely changed the dynamic of the league. Now I've been hearing like little whispers that the Lakers might make a move to get like another star. They've been trying to get Oladipo, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
But
I don't see Shaq. I don't see Houston being willing to give up Victor Oladipo after they just got him in that trade.
Yeah, and then I feel like the Lakers feel like the best team in the league to me, top and bottom. I don't really think they need to do anything at all.
No, because I mean the Lakers. Actually, I haven't even taken a look because I mean their roster is pretty much the same. But Shaq, I will say though, the 2 moves that I loved the most that they made, actually no, 3, was adding Dennis Schroeder as a point guard. I think flew under the radar to non-basketball people as a big time move, as a very underrated move. Marc Gasol gives them a nice veteran presence off the bench and a guy who he is skilled and can step out. He can go back to the basket and he can play some solid defense, even though LeBron still holds it over that Marc Gasol did take his Defensive Player of the Year award away from him, which we'll get into. That's a different argument for a different day. And them swiping away Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers. Yep. Those 3 moves are huge when it came to upgrading this roster.
You add 2 6-man of the year and a player who is a champion.
And Shaq, the other one too. Don't underestimate Wesley Matthews being on this team either. So you asked me, who can you have on the Lakers to go out and stop Kyrie? Wesley Matthews ain't going to stop him for 4 quarters, but guess what? You need a couple of possessions. Wesley Matthews up until he blew out his knee, Shaq. That man was one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league.
Yeah, I get that. He was up there. He was nice with it. But the point is, like those type of guys, like the Wesley Matthews and the Marc Gasols, you bring them, like you gonna get what you need from Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. Now,
Marc Gasol and Wesley Matthews gonna show their value when the playoffs start, when the game becomes slow, and it'd be the half court game when you got to run the sets, hit Marc Gasol in the post, or hit Wesley Matthews in the corner for a three. So it's like that. They're definitely going to come in handy when it comes to that point. That's why I say the Lakers don't even really have to make a move because honestly, right now, if the Nets and the Lakers made it to the finals, I don't believe that the Nets will be the favorite. The Lakers are still the favorite right now to win it all if we go by Las Vegas bets. Yeah.
And again, I mean, looking at the Nets roster as it's constructed now, if the finals started right now, Shaq, other than DeAndre Jordan, I honestly do not think you have any answer for Anthony Davis. You don't. You just don't. Because then guess what? Then if DeAndre Jordan's going to guard Anthony Davis, you know what the Lakers do? They'll have Anthony Davis step out the 3-point line. Now all of a sudden you got no type of rim protection at all. And guess what's going to happen? LeBron James is going to take whoever's guarding him to the basket and dunk on you for 45 points.
Yes, sir. He's going to cook up, but I feel like KD going to cancel him out. It's AD is going to have to be for the Lakers to win that series.
AD's going to have to be AD.
AD going to have to be a man. He going to have to be capital AD, not Lord. I know everybody saying like AD. I'm telling you, because everybody's been talking about AD hasn't been playing up to par this year, and people question if he's hurt or something like that. I think the Lakers are just coasting at this point in time. But even though, because if the Clippers match up better against the Nets than the Lakers, they got the perimeter. They got Paul George, Kawhi. Don't do it. Hey, look. It's regular season. It ain't the playoffs. Paul George right now is shooting 50% from the field goal and 50% from the three right now. He's hooping. He's
PG-13 for now.
Yes. He's regular season P right now. So regular season P is coming through. So, but we'll have to see more, man. And then you see my Bulls actually playing good, man. They playing,
I mean, going into the Bulls a little bit more. And Shaq, you know how much I love to rank on the Bulls organization because for the longest time they've been proven to be absolutely, totally, and utterly incompetent. But they're 7-9 right now. They're somehow 9th in the Eastern Conference, which again shows how bad the East is outside of the top 2-3 teams. It shows how bad the East is. But the thing is, Shaq, I have to say, I enjoy watching them even when they lose because I mean they're 5th in the league in offense. They're 5th in the league in points per game. I mean, Shaq, they've proven it. They have proven they can score with anyone.
Yes.
In the league. They've proven they can score with anyone, including the Lakers, the Warriors. They've proven that they can score against the Trailblazers, the Mavericks, the Clippers. They have stayed in these games, Shaq. But the thing is right now,
a couple of games we gave away too.
This team needs to learn how to play. And Stacey King said this. I can't remember who the Bulls were playing. I think it was their game against the Mavericks. When the Bulls were up by 28 points at one point.
That was the Thunder time. We was about 28 and lost. It was
the Thunder.
The Thunder game.
This team needs to learn how to play with a lead because they're not good. They're not talented enough to take their foot off the gas.
Yep. No, we're not.
If you go up by 10, 15, 18 points, keep the hammer down. Because, ironically enough, Shaq, this team has been fun to watch. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Go ahead and say it. I got to get his jersey. Do I got to go get the jersey?
I like watching. I like what Zach LaVine has done this
year. He not missed the empty stats this year.
Okay.
He's not.
Okay.
No, don't say that. No, he's not. He's not this year.
Who is the person that gave Zach LaVine the nickname Empty Stats? I know it wasn't me.
I did. It was me. I definitely gave him the Empty Stat nickname, but he's not this year. And I had started an uproar, and I'm going to ask you because I know you watched my video. I'll say, should the Bulls trade Zach LaVine? And I said the reason why I asked should the Bulls trade Zach this. Hold on, baby. Hold on, wait. Daddy doing the show. I said should the Bulls trade Zach LaVine? And because his trade value is high right now. And I feel like we're just good. We're an okay team. We're nice, but we got to make some type of move to get better over the hump. Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, Shaq.
What would you do?
I would say trade him, but don't trade him now. And the reason why is because if you wait until right before the deadline, I think that is when either you trade him at the deadline or you see what people are going to offer at the draft.
Yep.
I personally think you should wait until the deadline because let's think about some of these teams that are going to need that scoring punch to make that playoff push. I'm thinking of a team, and again, I know this is going to sound crazy.
No.
I'm thinking of a team like the Bucks. I'm thinking of a team like the 76ers. I'm thinking of a team like the Indiana Pacers. The Toronto Raptors could be another team that are right there. Shaq, I'll even go as far as to say, what about a team like Phoenix that with Chris Paul being there, they could use the extra scoring?
No.
Or these teams that are going to be close, but they need that offensive punch to get them where they want to go.
First of all, I'm going to tell you the same thing I said in my video. Zach LaVine not going nowhere if we don't get a star return. He's averaging 27 points playing like stars. So if I'm not getting a Bradley Beal, I'm not getting a Devin Booker, and we know that the Suns are not trading Devin Booker. But if I'm not getting somebody like a Devin Booker, if I'm not even getting a CJ McCollum, or if I'm not even getting a Ben Simmons, even though I know you probably would like a Ben Simmons one, Zach LaVine not going nowhere. No, I'm trying to tell you.
Why the hell would you tell me Ben Simmons?
I mean, if I'm giving up a star, I need a star return.
You bold of you to call Ben Simmons a star.
Yes.
Bold of you to assume Ben Simmons is a star when he's the exact same player he was when he was at LSU.
I mean, he was a star at LSU.
Bold of you to assume that Ben Simmons is a star when this man still can't hit a damn three-pointer.
He's still a star. He just don't work on his game.
He's trash.
He's not trash. He's not trash. He just doesn't work on his game. He's a great point guard.
Check. You and I, you just said it a little bit ago. Playoff time. What happens come NBA playoff time? The game slows down. You got to be able to go half court. Guess what? Jared Dudley said it 2 years ago. In open court, Ben Simmons top 5 player in the league. When it's half court set, he's average at best.
Yeah. But my whole point is this, though.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. I completely agree with you. The only way that you're sending Zach LaVine anywhere is if you're getting a star in return, which I personally don't think is going to happen.
Yeah, it ain't.
I love the development from Kobe White that I'm seeing. If Lauri Markkanen could stay on the goddamn floor, that would be fantastic.
I would like Wendell.
That would be great.
Wendell too inconsistent for me too. Wendell be
the whole thing with Wendell Shaq. I'm willing to give Wendell a little bit more time because he's been asked to do a lot more in this offense than I think he is used to. Because now he's not only being asked to score, he's also being asked to facilitate, run a ton of screen and roll, pass the ball off the roll, and that type of thing. So I'm willing to give him a little bit more time than some of these other guys. Patrick Williams, Shaq, you know how much I like. I'll give it to you.
I'll give it to you. I told you.
I love watching Patrick Williams. I love watching.
We need to trade. We need to trade Otto Porter and like Denzel Valentine, Felicio. People we just need to not be on the roster.
Do not talk to me about Denzel Valentine. I ask every game I watch, why is this man still on the team?
I don't know. They re-signed him. Oh, burn the house down. Hold on. Keep talking. I got to mute my mic.
I ask every game, why is Denzel Valentine still on this team? I agree. You got to try to find a way to unload him. Otto Porter, I'll agree. I think he's great off the bench. I think he's fantastic off the bench. But the problem is he is making way too much money to come off the bench. That is the biggest problem.
28
is if
too much money to be off the bench.
Yeah, he's making way too much coming off the bench. Thomas Satoransky, I'll actually kind of give credit for.
It was
as a backup point guard. As a backup point guard, I think he's actually very serviceable. Daniel Gafford, I love Daniel Gafford coming off the bench.
I'm glad you brought up Gafford. Okay, everybody been like on Gafford case, but I'm gonna tell you why I said this. I would rather start Gafford over Wendell Carter, and I'm gonna tell you why. Since Gafford is a guy who don't demand the ball on offense, he's gonna dunk, block shots, or make passes or set screens, which they've been asking Wendell Carter to do. Wendell Carter, said he don't like playing center anyway. So he could come off the bench and be our sixth man. He could play power forward, which way he wants to play, and he could be our scoring option off the bench too with the Otto Porter with the second unit. And I believe we could get our second unit better. But
who's going to be your backup center then if you slide Gafford into the starting five? Then?
Wendell probably gonna still be the five.
Unless you're gonna. Oh yeah, I was gonna say unless because I was gonna say there's no way in hell you're gonna have Thaddeus Young play the 5 at 6 foot 8.
It's just that I would just have him run the 4 on offense, but on defense he obviously got a guard like the big man.
So Shaq, would you be saying then that you would kind of more or less have the Bulls play a 5 out on offense then if you're going to be playing with Wendell and Thaddeus Young on the court at the same time you're going to be playing with 5 out?
You possibly because you got to think about the bench squad as well. It's going to be Satoransky, Valentine, Otto Porter, Wendell, and Thaddeus Young.
Well, what about Garrett Temple?
Oh, I forgot about him. No, I'm so disrespectful. I'm sorry. That's how you know it's bad with the Bulls. When I got to say I'm sorry for taking Denzel Valentine over Garrett Temple. Jesus.
That's what I thought.
Jesus Christ. So it's going to be Satoransky, Garrett Temple, Otto Porter, Wendell, and Thaddeus Young. And then Wendell can actually operate the way he wants to on offense in the 4 position because he don't like playing a 5. He doesn't like playing a 5.
And why is Felicio still on the roster?
Because nobody wants him. All right, Kevin? We stuck with him, unfortunately, and we paid him more money.
Why is Ryan Arcidiacono on this roster?
He earned his keeper from the G League, so that's why.
Why is Chandler Hutchison on this team?
Chandler Hutchison is nice. He's just hurt.
Always. He's always.
I mean, this is second year.
So you know what?
I think.
You know what that makes him, Shaq? This is his third year.
Third year, yes, it is his third year. Okay.
So you know what? Shaq? What is the best quality in a player?
Availability, sir.
So if he don't have availability, he's useless to me.
Yeah, his first year he played 44 games. His second year only played 28 games, and this year only played 5 so far. Yes, that man
trash.
He cannot be on the court. If actually we had Hutchinson would be nice, but you got to be here.
So I mean, Shaq, I'm just taking a look at like the next. Obviously, they're playing. Actually, they're gonna be starting in about 10 minutes now from playing against Boston
and Jason Tatum.
But then, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba and those boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 5 games they have. Then they're home again. They actually have a nice little 4-game homestand here. They have the Celtics tonight, the Trailblazers on Saturday. Yeah, the Bulls play today, and then they're weirdly off until Saturday.
Yeah, they got
because the game they were supposed to have on Wednesday against Memphis was canceled due to contact tracing for COVID. In Memphis,
coronavirus.
Then they have back to a home and home against the Knicks, who weirdly they play both of their games against the Knicks. The 2 games against the Magic, against the Wizards, home against the Pelicans, home against the Clippers, And then they're at the Pacers, Hornets,
Mhm.
Sixers, and Kings, who I still forget are an actual NBA franchise.
Only thing good about
sometimes.
them is Tyrese Halliburton. That's it. You know, the Kings are still the Kings, though. They're not going to change at all. Well, they say, well, on that bombshell, like, come on, Kevin.
Well-
Off that bad, come on.
Well, all right, everybody. So let's take a look back and see what we learned today.
Nothing.
So we have learned that Zach LaVine may not be as empty stats as normal this year.
Mhm.
We learned that the Bears are just a colossal amalgamation of failure.
Mhm.
And we learned that no
Hey.
matter how many times it happens,
Oh.
you do not bet against GOAT Brady.
Don't bet against Gold Brady.
And on that bombshell, it's time for us to end. Thank you all so much for watching this evening. We hope you guys enjoyed watching Shaq and I as much as we enjoyed bringing the show to you. Again, remember, like, subscribe to the Main Event Chicago's YouTube channel. Subscribe and like to Shaq's YouTube channel. Again, SB Talk Sports. Follow him over on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter on the same name. And also, guys, message Shaq or I if you want invites to be part of the SB Talk Sports Facebook group. All it is Shaq and various others. We all post the latest stories in sports and share sports-related memes. So what is not to like?
Hey.
So, with that being said, everybody, you all stay warm, stay safe, fan hard, fan smart. Good night.
Good night, everybody.